Welcome to the Wild Hope Rising podcast. I'm your host, Sunny Kane, and I'm so glad you're here. I want to help you be wildly you. And believe it or not, you're already her. So I invite you to listen in. I'll help you move through the wilderness, no matter how you got here. So let's lean in, ignite your purpose, and discover what you're made of. Buckle up, my friend. It's time for Wild Hope. Well, hello, my favorite friends, the Wild Hope Rising community. Sunny here today, Sunny. Yesterday, my life was filled with rain and sunny. You smiled at me and really eased the pain. Oh boy, you guys know I always have a song. I was telling Tammy this weekend when we were, by the time you've heard this, we're a couple weeks beyond it, but I was telling Tammy, you can't let me do these episodes solo because there is zero, reminder for me to not sing every single song that comes in my mind. It's like Tammy just reminds me to have a little bit more self-control. Last episode, I think I sang 4 songs in 5 minutes. It was like a record. I'm going to try not to do that today. Or maybe I should try to beat my record from last time. I'm not sure what's going to happen today, but girls, it is summertime. And that might mean that you have got plans to just really unplug. You know, summer has this, I think we get in the rhythm when we're younger of summer's here. So I step a little bit out of structure. I go enjoy the sun. Maybe you're going on a vacation and you just might be in a place where, I guess it's a less structured place, and then we get back into structure in September. And yet what is so funny is most of us actually don't have, we're not teachers. Some of you might be teachers, but we're not teachers. We don't actually have the summer off. We still have to get up and go to work every single day. But we've got this summer mindset that is just kind of like lackadaisical. And I just want to encourage you, as you're heading into this summer, what if you were to look at it as a time for you to get refueled for whatever God has ahead for you? If you were to look at that lack of structure as taking a walk with Jesus over the summer and getting to soak up the sun, getting to sit in and enjoy the beauty of creation, whether you take a drive or whether you go look at a lake. I live near Lake Tahoe, and so I have the luxury of getting to go look at that. Or whether you just stand out in the morning and you have your cup of coffee in the sunshine. These are all very small things that we take for granted, or we actually forget about entirely. And it can make a whole difference in your day to just simply step outside and get just a moment of sunshine. And I'm preaching to the choir here because I am like the worst, especially because I told you guys I'm in my granny era right now, right? So I am doing all of these, sewing habits. And we live in an area that's windy, so I don't think I can take my sewing machine outside. I think it might mess up my seams, But speaking of my sewing habit, so I am right now, if you have not heard of this, you got to go look it up on the internet. I am building the viral, I think it's called the Call Your Name bag. Why it's called that, I don't know, but that's just what they're calling it. And immediately I am thinking Destiny's Child, right? Say my name, but instead it's call my name. Sunny's making bags now. Song number 2, ladies and gentlemen. But I am making this bag. It's like you make it out of bandanas, which is so fun because they're like 99 cents at Hobby Lobby. I'm telling you, you guys are like, oh my goodness, did I tune in to hear you talk about, Hobby Lobby handkerchiefs? I think you did. I think you're here for it. I can lock myself inside with all of these kinds of things, but getting outside, I think I want to invite you into a summer of intentional rest, intentionally pulling away with God. And what I know is, as women, if we do not take a moment to be intentional about what we would like to see happen in our summer, about how we would like to approach it, then we can stack it full of activities, right? I'm going to the lake, I'm doing this. And then it's like this blur, and you are like, oh my goodness, summer is totally over, and we feel ripped off because everybody else got these amazing experiences, and for some reason we just had a fast forward button. Okay, so right now at the beginning of summer, we're pausing here on Wild Hope Rising, and we're saying, let's make this a Wild Hope summer. Let's make it the kind of summer where we say, no matter the season that you're walking through, whether this is maybe you are on, the valley floor, a trek through a difficulty, or maybe you have just walked through that valley. You're standing in the midst of victory. And so you are excited about this summer because you finally feel like you can breathe again. But no matter where you find yourselves, what if we at Wild Hope, we said, I'm going to make this a Wild Hope summer where I am intentional about tucking away with God and looking for him. I want to spot God on the road. I want to spot God in nature. I want to see him in the midst of my story. And every single day, I'm going to look for him. I am going to note what I see. I'm going to write it down, whether it is a note in your phone or whether it is something that you write in your journal, or even better, if you would just email Tammy and I at The Wild Hope Rising. You can find this on the website, thewildhoperising@gmail.com, or you can just connect with us on social media. But the goal would be that we are saying we're going to be intentional about accessing wild hope. And I know when you're finding yourselves in the most difficult of seasons, I know for me, I have walked through summers where I was like, it doesn't even matter that it's summer because I am so exhausted from the season that I've been walking in. I feel tucked in with weariness and the weight of life's difficulty. So summer doesn't change anything here, Sunny. But, and because when you breathe in, there is a heaviness, right? But I will say to you, from a woman who's been there, that you can still choose what you're going to be searching for this summer. And if you continue to search for all of the hard things that are happening in your lives, if you continue to search for the left shoe that is about to drop, not only will this summer be a blur, but you will have a summer that is filled with more of what you have seen. It will be more worry. It will be more fear. It will be more of, because here's the thing, we tend to steer where we stare. And that is like a really, quick, sticky statement, but it is true. When I look at the things that are good and I look for goodness, I look for the wild hope. Even on my hardest of days, I can see it. And when I can't, when I say to God, Lord, I feel like I can't even see a glimmer of hope. And so I'm going to sit in this space outside. I'm going to hear the birds. I'm going to allow the sunlight to just hit my life for a moment. Will you show me wild hope? God is not a hide and seek God. He is a seek and find God. And so he will meet you in that place, and he can splash your life with wild hope in the craziest of places. And what I love about right now, this season that we're in, is the wildflowers are blooming all around us, right? They're blooming all around us. And wildflowers also give life to what is around them. We've got bees that are heading in, and I hate bees, and you guys know it. I mean, I hate bees. You can even tell me that it's just a meat bee, Sunny. They don't do any harm to nobody. Or those big old bumblebees, people are always like, they don't bite or sting or all the things that they do. I'm like, listen, the bigger the bumble, the more I'm afraid. Okay. And I hear that buzz and my body feels the fear of a bee. And we're off track, but wildflowers are nurturing the bees, which are feeding the land with milk and honey. It's a very beautiful thing, my friend. But there is something beautiful about what is happening. And I think life is a little like this, right? We walk through winter and the harsh conditions of life, the dark seasons where it feels like no sun will ever come back upon us. And we walk through spring where maybe there's little glimmers of hope and it feels a little bit lighter. Maybe we're not through our season yet, but you can just feel that little bit of warmth. And so you have just a little bit of hope. And then you end up in summer and the sun is shining and it feels like you can breathe again. And like there is joy again. And then maybe I should have started with fall, but fall is that time where, leaves are falling and it's moving into, maybe, and it's a cycle, right? So I don't have to keep going. You can understand hopefully exactly what I'm saying. And I think that our seasons in life, our seasons in wilderness are very much the same. But can we access summer in winter? Well, on a season level, maybe not unless you live in Nevada. Then you might have a day that it's 70 and a day that it's snowing the next day. Or maybe it's like that where you are too, because it was like that when I lived in Montana too. But can you access summer if you are in a wilderness season? Yes, friend, you can. You can. And it's not because of your self-help efforts. I am not trying to point you to take 10 steps in order to have the summer of your life, though that would be super fun if I knew those 10 steps. But what we can do is make a decision to say, hey, God, I'm going to play, this whole game with you this summer where I search for wild hope on the horizon and I name it and I call it out as often as I can with my worries. I'm going to call out the wild hope. I'm going to spot it like a wildflower and I'm going to collect it for remember those there are these people who I went to not an antique sale. What are they called? An estate sale. And somebody had spent their entire life collecting butterflies, right? And they were in the, when people have like the bug collections, or the, butterfly collections, they're like in these cool display cases so that you can see the beautiful butterfly. I didn't want to think like, did this person kill these butterflies? That was not kind, but I could see all these beautiful butterflies. And I thought, man, I want my summer to be that intentional. Like I'm hunting for butterflies. I'm hunting for new life. I'm intentionally spotting wild hope. I'm going to grab the flower and I'm going to put it in my journal and I'm going to press that flower and I'm going to remember it. And I want to encourage you to do the same thing. This is part mindset. This is part practical action. It's part partnering with God this summer. Asking him to, take you on a wild hope adventure. I also heard this little tip that I just thought was such a practical, cool thing. I heard on a podcast recently, this lady would put her devotional right next to her coffee pot. So while her coffee was brewing, she could read a quick 5-minute devotional. And I thought, man, that could be a quick wild hope summer. Put the devotional next to your coffee pot and read your devotional first thing in the morning. Then you know what you can say? I spot a butterfly. I spotted a wildflower right here first thing in the morning, because God's word, it gives life to my season. It's bringing summer into winter. This is fun stuff, you guys. And so basically, today's podcast is really simple. I'm just encouraging you to access wide open, spacious life right where you are, no matter what your season is. And so my prayer is when you get done with this podcast, and really you're like, is this all that she has for me today? Yes, it is. Because I think it's worth saying, don't let your summer fly by without some level of intentionality. Sure, release the schedule, get out of the structure, but be intentional about this. I will be a person who looks for the wild hope in the land because it is always before me. And just sit and focus on, how about this? God loves me. What if you just took a day meditating on that reality? You're outside and you see the birds and you see the blue sky and you see the mountains and you feel the warmth on your skin and you're like, man, the God who created and thought all of this up, he thought me up. He thought up my voice and the way that I am. He thought up my spirit, the way that I'm wired. He thought up this body of mine. He thought up my eyebrows. And I got a question for him, he made my eyebrows invisible. And that's because it would cause people to spark curiosity of when they looked at me. Curiosity. Does she have eyebrows? But I paint them on so that they're there. But God created this, and this same God created me. Not only did he create me, but he created me on purpose. And so I'm going to think on, God loves me. What would it look like to walk in that love today? What would it look like to receive that love, to believe that love? What would it look like to allow that love to transform this season, this hard moment? Or what would it look like for that love to walk through the victorious seasons of my life? These are small ways to access wild hope, to bring summer into winter. And I want you to do it with intention. I want you to, like you're collecting butterflies, I want you to share with us. Let's collect wild hope all summer long, and let's do it together. It'll be like a little wild hope challenge. What do you think? I think it's awesome. Thank you. Great. See how I talk to myself in my shed? You're welcome. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore, so I should probably wrap this up. I could see Tammy right now with her eyebrows up like, are we really doing this? Don't worry. I'm not editing this out. You're getting all the realness of who Sunny is, but we're going to have an intentional summer in summer. That was a little bit of Frozen, and it was awful. A little bit of Kermit the Frog. Kermit the Frog before we end. Ladies, let's see hope rise this summer, and let's be people who recognize that it's always around us. We just have to be aware. May the wildflowers bloom in your life, even in the wilderness. With that, we'll see you again next week. My prayer is freedom will become your story and redemption your song. Now it's time to take hope-filled action. And if today's episode spoke to you, please don't keep it to yourself. Like, subscribe, and share, and help us grow this community. Thanks for listening to Wild Hope Rising. Until next time, keep stepping boldly into the spacious life you were created for.